Good afternoon, everybody. I am here, back, but not in miserable, flooded, icy England, but in beautiful 25 degrees Lanzarote. And today, very brief video. I wanted to talk very briefly about the study that Dr. Wolf, Mike Israetel, Jeff Nippard, and those guys keep referring to, whereby it was discovered that you should be doing lengthened partials because it's better for muscular hypertrophy than full range of motion. And I thought, rather just bang on about it all the time and not like it and disagree because it doesn't fit in with what I like, I would find the study. And so I did. And I have the study here. And I thought I would share a few of the things that are in this study as somebody that, do I have skin in the game? I think I probably do. I'm an old-fashioned type of lifter. I prefer the full range of motion with a metric ton of weights through full range of motion to build size and strength. I think there's nothing new. A lot of these things that the science guys are hitting us with these days are things we've known for a long time, and just simply trying to reinvent the wheel all of the while isn't helpful. I have the study. Lengthened partial repetitions elicit similar muscular adaptations as a full range of motion during resistance training in trained individuals. So the first thing is, these weren't beginners, these were trained individuals. These were guys that already had, I've got two pair of glasses because I've got my reading glasses underneath, that had already done a little bit of training. And they were looking to see, as we know, if the lengthened partial, or the biasing the lengthened or stretch aspect of the rep, is better or not than the full range of motion. First thing to notice is that Dr. Wolf, Milo Wolf, has skin in this game because this is the first name at the top of this study as somebody that was involved in it. That is always going to be a subconscious bias once you've done the study to something that you have thought. Anyway, I will read the abstract verbatim. Excuse me while I take my Ray-Ban aviators off. So the purpose of the study was to compare the effects of lengthened partial repetitions versus full range of motion resistance training on muscular adaptations. We know this. In this study, 30, first problem, tiny group of people, only 30, healthy, resistance trained participants had their upper extremities randomly assigned to either a lengthened partial or a full range of motion condition. All of the other variables were equivalent between the limbs. The resistance training intervention was a multi-exercise, multi-modality 8-week program targeting the upper body musculature. Training consisted, this is the bit that's interesting for us now. Training consisted of 2 sessions a week with 4 exercises per session and 4 sets per exercise. Muscle hypertrophy of the elbow flexors and elbow extensors, biceps and triceps, was evaluated using B-mode ultrasonography at 45 and 55% of humeral length. Blah, 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 blah. So essentially, 2 sessions a week. They didn't know beforehand which was going to do full range of motion and which was going to do lengthened partials. But the exercises were assessed using a 10 repetition maximum test on the lat pull down. That was for the endurance, and the other one, just see what this was, a bicep and a tricep exercise. I can't see that it says here, but we might get to that anyway in a minute. The results, but to the results, whatever the exercises were, the results, both muscle thickness and 10 repetition maximum improvements were similar between the 2 conditions. Results were consistent across outcomes with point estimates close to 0 and Bayes factors 0.16 and 0.3, generally providing moderate support for the null hypothesis of equal improvement across interventions. What this is saying is that the group that did the full range of motion and the group that did the lengthened partials at the end of the program, whether it was the hypertrophy or whether it was for the 10 rep endurance, showed essentially exactly the same, just exactly the same degree of growth, exactly the same. There was such little difference, it didn't make any difference, except slightly favoured the full range of motion. Yet here's the conclusion. Based on present finding and other studies, trainees seeking to maximise muscle size should likely emphasise the stretch position, either by using a full range of motion or lengthened partial during upper body resistance training. So the idea that you should concentrate on lengthened partials and not full range of motion is clearly disingenuous. Clearly disingenuous. What I get from this, and I may have a subconscious bias or an unconscious bias, what I get from this is do the full range of motion. Stick to the full range of motion. And at the end of the set, do what strength trainers and bodybuilders have always done. Then do some partials at the end. So this idea that Israel and Dr. Wolf are trying to brainwash you all with, that it's the most important thing, even more so than a full range of motion, coming direct from the study that Milo did, is utter nonsense. If you want to have a look, go and find the study, have a look at it yourself, and you can make your own mind up. But anyway, catch you next time, stay strong, and I hope you all don't freeze to death in England.